I'm currently Senior Vice President of Delta Sigma Pi, which is an international business fraternity we have on campus and around campuses around the country. And I'm also part of Fast Forward, which is our DePaul student startup that we have dedicated to giving back to our communities while providing networking opportunities for students. After college, I hope to take a year off because I currently intern at an investment firm. I'll probably continue to do that, and then eventually go to law school because I want to do business law. My favorite junior achievement course to teach is the ones that are involving debits and credits and about budgeting, because I feel like it allows the students to really see how important it is to have a good credit score and how much budgeting really can affect how much you have in savings and how your occupation really goes into effect with that. So my students sometimes that I teach don't understand the difference between people that go to trade school and four-year universities. So what the activities allow them to see is that different occupations require different education and thus have different opportunities for salary and things like that. So I think when they realize that school really does matter and not just for getting good grades, but because of the effects and like the decisions you can make later on, I think that's a good aha moment for them. Sure, JA provides a lot in terms of skills for volunteers. I know myself, I learn about how to grab the attention of students more. I know it can be hard to get a room of 30 students to really focus on what you're teaching them, especially this early in the morning when we come to the school. So I think that's a good one. And also, I believe that when you really understand a concept really well, it's easy for you to explain it simply to someone like a student, like a young student. So I think that's a good skill that I've learned to actually comprehend basic concepts and not just theories. Actually, today there was a challenge because there was a student that was probably having a really bad day for whatever reason, and they didn't want to get involved in the projects or the participation activities. And so what we did is that I partnered with him, and then that made it easier for him to pay attention, I guess. I tried to make it a little more interesting, and I tried to get him to really get excited about the topic, so I think just one-on-one is good. As a student, we have more opportunities to do things like this because the idea of being a young student and still thinking about what we want to do in life is still fresh in our minds. And I know, well, personally I intern, but a lot of college students don't intern and don't have part-time jobs. So if they find themselves with extra time and wondering what to do with that, I think it's a great cause to serve our community like this with young students that are the future of our economy and our country. So I think this is a really great activity to do. My last school that I went to was in a predominantly underprivileged community in the south side of the city, and I think a transformation for both of us is that it really allows me to see the difference in the different kinds of quality in schools that we have in different communities, and how sometimes students just see that as an obstacle for them when we talk about our obstacles in terms of how we can accomplish our dreams and goals and things like that. So I think for transformation for both of us is just working through those and understanding that if you're willing to work hard, that you can still accomplish your dreams regardless of where you grew up, as long as you're willing to accept the circumstances you have and work hard. I hope the students enjoy learning about things like this, about economic empowerment and debits and credits and budgeting and things like that, learning about international things like trade. I think they should understand these concepts now, because when they go to college, then they'll see what they're interested in and what kinds of skills match up to what kind of occupation they might choose to have and things like that. This is a great experience for many reasons, but most recently I was just offered an internship position at a firm that I currently work for in the investment sector, and it was a really competitive interview process. But what I think made me stand out as opposed to the other candidates is that my interviewer, although she was MBA law school person, she had volunteered at Junior Achievement in the early 90s. And so when she saw that on my resume, it struck up a conversation, and I think we connected on that level, and that it allowed me to advance to the next level of the interview stage. This program has allowed me to just really see that everyone is capable of making a difference, even if it's just with a few students or with one student or with the whole classroom. I think any sort of effort that we put in terms of time, and to show the kids that we really care about them and to what interests they have, and for them to be the futures of our country, I think it's important for me and for them to understand that everyone's capable of making a difference. Whenever we go over the topics of what they want to be in life, sometimes what touches me is when they have these huge dreams, and then sometimes they're really timid about saying what they want to be, such as like a surgeon or an archaeologist and things like that. And what touches me is that they're timid about saying it is because that they think that their classmates will laugh, maybe because they're shy about it or because they're not sure if they can reach those goals. So I think that touches me because it allows me to see that I should help them understand that they can accomplish those things.